I want to be an actor, so I'm willing to pay this. I understand, but like, not everyone has the money to become famous, and so it's sad because you'll find people that live like on ends meet, and they're paying for all of these courses and stuff, and there's ways you can become famous without having to pay. So that's my 2 cents.
Okay, and have you ever desired to be famous?
No, not really. Like, the reason why for example, like, I got into modeling back in the day was I was overweight, and so I was getting these pictures done to make me feel better about myself and feel more positive about my body and stuff. And so when it came to fame and all that, it never really mattered to me. My thing was I would rather touch 5 people rather than have like 5,000 people following me, because for me, being famous, don't get me wrong, it sounds fun because it looks like the Kardashians are living their life, but my main thing is to like reach out for the people who need me versus like trying to get attention by like taking all of these like half naked pictures and enjoy the fame, because at the end of the day, it's not always about followers. It's more about like how you can help somebody and make them feel.
Yeah, I agree that it is important to be a good person and help others around you, opposed to just posing and trying to get followers on a social media platform.
Exactly.
Okay, and Destiny, I'm going to ask the same thing. How much would you pay to achieve fame?
For me, I wouldn't pay anything to receive fame. I mean, I used to think that I used to want to think that I did when I was back in like high school, or even when I was in elementary, and I'm like, hey, it would be so cool to, sing in a band or be a rock star or do all this stuff. But now that I'm a little older, I just know that, like, I don't need to pay for fame because, well, I know what I want. I'm going to school for it. I'm trying to achieve my goals, so I don't really need to pay for fame.
Okay, and what made you decide to not go after that rock star lifestyle?
Rockstar, well, I have so many people, literally so many friends that I go see, and I go see them, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like, I would do anything to be up on stage, but then I see them, and they're like, well, let's go over by the bar, or let's have shots together, and I'm like, no. So if, I don't know, my music friends, like, I don't think just music is all about getting loaded and whatever. If you're passionate about something, I think you're passionate to be passionate, so I don't really think you need to pay for it.
Okay. And I get that. I think that if you are talented enough, then your talent will speak through everything. So
exactly.
You won't have to necessarily, yeah, exactly. You don't have to necessarily pay for it. Okay. And I'm going to move on to the next question, and I'm going to ask you, Tawanda, why is it that you think that some people are willing to do anything to be famous?
I think that it really depends on a person's goal. I was talking to someone earlier today, and we were talking about, like, for example, there's a movie that 50 Cent made a few years ago called Get Rich or Die Trying. Sometimes in life, a person can say they want something, and then I always find out what's your IQ level. Like, you want it, but you want it until it's not convenient for you anymore. And my thing is, there's nothing at all wrong with being famous, especially when you're in the industry. Like if you want to dance, you want to do music, kind of like how Kay was saying, hey, I'm an author. I'm interested in, making millions off my books, but I like to keep my privacy. That's kind of where I am. But then if you're a person that says, hey, I want the world to see me, I want to be a star, then you should go hard at it. You should go hard and do everything that you can, and quitting should not be an option. And that's exactly why when you're serious about something and you want it and you're going to do anything you can to get that. And when I say anything, I'm talking about anything within reason, as long as it's not illegal or ethical. Or unethical,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. And yeah, I believe that, when you want something, you will be willing to do whatever it takes, as long as it's obviously not going to land you in jail or go against maybe your morals. And do I have Amanda on the line?
Yes, you do.
Hi, Amanda. How are you today?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. So I want to ask you, why do you think that some people are willing to do whatever it takes to be famous?
I think probably from a young age we're taught if you work hard enough you can achieve anything. So I think it's probably ingrained in us, and I feel like some people are so passionate about being famous that they'll do whatever it takes to get there.
Okay. And are you interested in being famous, or have you ever desired to be famous?
Really the only thing that I wouldn't mind being known for is being a fierce mental health advocate, but I definitely don't want to be famous. I just want to be famous in my industry, and I want to help other people out.
Okay. And that's cool. I know a lot of people. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say also, I really want plastic surgery, so.
And what would you get done?
Well, I've lost 135 pounds, and with that big of a weight loss, you have a lot of loose skin. So, I would love to just get rid of some of the skin that's on me, and maybe a breast lift as well.
Okay. So I guess you would get surgery. So, if someone offered you surgery that you didn't agree with, would you still do it if it guaranteed you a level of success that you were looking for?
I think it would depend on the surgery, honestly. If it was something wild and out there, no. But if it was something that I might be yeah, that would make me look better, then yeah, I would do it. But I wouldn't just do surgery just to be famous.
Okay. So as long as it's not going to, I guess, be outrageous, something that, is going to alter you in a negative way.
Yeah, because, at the end of the day, even if you do surgery, it only lasts for so long, and then your fame's up, and then you look like a weirdo or whatever, and that's not helpful.
Right. And that's not going to make you feel better, about the situation.
Yeah.
Okay. And thank you for your response and for calling in.
Yeah, sorry that I've been spying. I've been trying to jump in, but I have not found a place.
No, you're fine. And I'm going to ask Kay the same question. Why do you think that some people would do most anything to get famous?
That's a good question. Probably because they associate fame with power, riches. Because that's kind of what goes, most of the time, that's what goes with fame. There are famous people that are not rich or powerful, but they're famous for negative reasons. So, but most of the time, people who are famous have money and they have power, and I think that's probably why most people want that, or some people want that.
Okay. And would you ever want that same level of power?
With much power comes much responsibility.
Right.
And I really only want to be responsible for me, myself, and my kids. That's it.
Okay. And yeah, I don't know. I guess I would say I agree to that to a point, but then it's also, when you own something, then you have power, I guess, in the sense of that. So I guess it's just like, some people that I guess that's out there now that's trending, you just don't want that power to ever go to your head when you have that type of power. And
right,
and
all too often that's exactly what it does. It goes to people's heads, and then they abuse it.
Exactly. And I'm going to ask the same question. Why do you think that some people would do almost anything to be famous? Is Kat still there?
Hi, I'm sorry. I was like, did they call my name? Because you cut in and out. But what were you asking? Sorry.
Oh, no problem. I just asked, why do you think that some people would do almost anything to be famous?
Well, like since a lot of you ladies did say that, like, if they have the money, they would do it. But other than that, like, some people, I'm not saying that, like, they're not skilled, or sometimes, what's the word? They have a tendency of wanting just to go straight to fame because maybe for, like, self-esteem issues. Because, like, I know back in the day, I'm not going to lie, though, like when I got into modeling and stuff, my mindset at the time, which I never, like, thought of it once I did my first shoot, I was thinking, like, oh, maybe people will actually like me now that, like, I'm in front of the camera and all that. And sometimes most people, their tendency to become famous has to do with, like, self-esteem now that they feel better about themselves, which is good. But at the same time, some people also want to be famous because they just like being in the camera. They like attention, and nothing's wrong with that. And so if their voice could be heard, or if they can just put themselves out there, that's why, like, I see people getting famous. But there's other reasons too. Like, for example, like, if you decide to be famous for the right reasons and you want to have your voice heard because you're what's the word? You're an advocate for some reason, for something. Like, for example, like, I'm definitely an advocate against, like, rape and self-love and all that stuff. And if I had a choice to become famous so I can be an advocate, like, to help thousands and even millions of women that are going through those stages, of course I want to be famous. But if it was, like, a famous reason for myself, so people can just talk about me and I can just Google search myself I can just Google search my name, I don't want that kind of fame. If I were to be famous, I would want it to be for something, for a good reason, and to help people.
Okay. Is there maybe one particular cause that you would want to be famous for?
Say that again?
Would there be any one particular famous, like, art cause that you would want to be famous for?
At this moment, to be honest, no, because I just feel like fame isn't, like, a really, like, it hasn't. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, famous sounds amazing. Being famous is amazing, but I'd rather just have people, like, acknowledge me because of, like, what I do. I don't want to have to go to, like, I don't want, like, to be all over the tabloids. But if it was, like I said, some advocacy, like, for example, like Real Girlfriends Across America, I believe, like, for our fame, like, with that and everything, it's the reason of, like, we're trying to reach out to women and help them build long last friendships, and also have a platform, and that kind of fame, there's nothing wrong with that. But for me personally, I wouldn't even mind being, like, in the back end and being the reason why someone becomes famous. That I wouldn't mind. But me personally, I'm happy where I am.
Okay. And that's fair. And thanks everyone for their responses. And I'm going to wrap up. I just wanted to ask one final thing. Now, everyone that's on the phone, what is your thought about today's question now that we've wrapped it up? Because I know initially I asked two people what their thoughts were before we started. so I'm going to start with you, Destiny. Now that we went over the topic, what is your thoughts about what's the price for fame?